everyone, it's me, Kitty. Every time I do that, the camera moves, and I'm sorry because right now my setup is me sitting on my bed with my phone propped up on like a very shaky tower of like books and an old like locker stand, like the metal locker stands that you used to like stack your textbooks on top of so you could put like your lunchbox underneath or whatever. But hopefully in the future we'll get a more stable tripod, but for now, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of shaking when I gesticulate with my hands. Anyways, right now I'm filming my second YouTube video, which is absolutely insane and really exciting for me. And for my second video, I thought I would talk about the time that I met Motionless in White. It was my second time seeing Motionless in White live, and it was exactly 1 week ago at the Vans Warped Tour 2018 stop in Dallas. So if you want to see how that day went, you can check my first video, which hopefully I'll figure out how to like link that. I probably won't. But if you want to see how that day went, you can check my first video, which is probably going to be put in the description box below. Around 6 p.m. after we had watched Motionless in White's whole set, they had a signing, and one of the things that I like to do whenever I go to concerts or festivals is I take my Polaroid with me. This is my Polaroid. It's in its little carrier. It is an Instax Mini 8, and what I do is whenever I take it to the concerts, I will stay in the mosh pit for as long as I can. And then I will get to the front, and once I'm up front, this doesn't really work unless I'm like up by the railing, so I try really hard to get up to the railing. I will take this out of my backpack or my purse or whatever I brought to the concert with me, and I will take as many Polaroids as I can while being jostled around and stuff. So a majority of them actually don't turn out that well. I have one up here, which is an example of one that didn't end up so well. I hope this focuses. If not, I'll like put a picture. But as you can see, someone got in my way while I was taking the picture. So I had brought my Polaroid to the mosh pit for Motionless in White. I made my way up to the railing. I took a couple pictures, but the exposure was weird because it was a really sunny day, but it was really, really dark on stage. So most of the pictures that I took from the mosh pit showed up like this, where they're just totally black because the camera setting was on like bright day, but the stage was super dark. So at that point I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and get taken out of the pit so I can walk up to the edge of the stage and take a picture with my Polaroid. So I called like the security up front over, and then they lifted me out of the pit, and I took a minute to like catch my breath, and then I walked like towards the corner of the stage, and I was waiting for a good moment to take a picture, and Chris Motionless happened to notice me. Like, we made eye contact, and he walked over to where I was and posed for a Polaroid while he was singing. I don't know if you can see it because it is really dark. Like I said, the exposure was going absolutely nuts, but okay, so there was a minor interruption. My mom needed me to get some paperwork for her that I had in one of my cabinets, and then in the process of getting that, I knocked over my entire garden. So that was a bit of a disaster, but the show will go on. So like I was saying, Chris saw me in front of the stage with the Polaroid camera, and he came over and he like flashed a thumbs up, and thankfully, oh my god, I got the picture at the right moment. The exposure is quite dark. It's hard to see what's going on in the picture unless you're like holding it like this. But just the awe that I felt in that moment, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is like a 1 in a million chance for this to happen. At least I felt like that. And so I immediately flipped out. I was like, there's no way I'm getting back in the pit. I am running straight to the signing table because I really need to get this Polaroid signed. And spoiler alert, you probably saw it when I showed it to you, but I did get this signed. I don't know what happened that day, but the Warped Tour staff did a horrible job of organizing the signing line for Motionless in White. The first 20-30 minutes that people were like showing up at the table, they didn't tell us where to start the line or where the line was going. So everyone kind of just made a giant bubble around the table, and luckily I was one of the people who was like really close to the table, and so I was like right up against it. And about 45 minutes into everyone like waiting in that giant bubble, complaining about how no one knew what was going on, the girl who was working the merch table like called for help, and they gave her instructions on what to do. So they made everyone line up, and there was so much trouble because everyone was complaining, we've been here 45 minutes and now you're rearranging the line and I'm gonna be at the back when I was at the front. And fortunately, I was able to keep my general spot in the line, so I was 6th, 7th person or like group that was in the line. And I decided that I didn't just want a Polaroid to sign, because I can't get the whole band to sign one tiny Polaroid. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Chris to sign this Polaroid, and I paid $5 for a poster. I don't know if you can see it, it's over here. Let me just take it down for a minute. So I bought a poster, and I got them all to sign it. When I got up to the table, I was totally shaking. I was like, oh my god, I'm like, you know, 2 feet away from my favorite musicians. And they actually recognized me. I was already on cloud 9 from being like within 2 feet of them. But when I got up to Chris, I was like, oh my god, can you sign my Polaroid? Because you're only supposed to get like one thing to sign. And I had the poster like I showed you to sign, but I really wanted that Polaroid to get signed. So I was like, oh my god, Chris, can you sign my Polaroid? And I like threw it on the table. And he was like, oh hey, I remember taking this. And I died. My soul left my body. I was like, he remembers taking this picture. So I absolutely like flipped out to no end. I could not speak. I was just like, I can't believe you noticed me. I was just absolutely shocked that not only had he seen me taking the picture, he remembered taking the picture, he posed for the picture, and it was just mind-blowing. Like, can you imagine? And so for the entire rest of the day, I was kind of like shivery. I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm still a little bit jittery because right now it's the 1 week anniversary of the time Chris Motionless remembered that I took his picture. So hopefully I get to see them again in the future, and I get some better exposed Polaroids. Even though my dad says it's actually cool that they're like really darkly exposed like this, because he says it matches the poster. Which, I mean, I can see it. I can see that it matches the poster. But still, I'd like to get like an up-close, real nice Polaroid of any of the members of the band, realistically. That would be like amazing. So that was an amazing end to an amazing day. Like I said, if you want to see how the earlier parts of the day went, you can check my vlog, which is the first video on my channel. I will link it in the description below, the description box below. And I've rambled enough. I'm starting to lose my mind, to lose my train of thought. Everything is escaping me. So I think I better end it right now before I start blathering any more, I don't know, what's that word? You see what's happening? I'm losing my mind. All right, this is the end. Goodbye.